Naruto, Hyuga member Awakens godly Tenseigan, episode 161. After playing enough, Hyuga Chen took out 3 bottles of potions and handed them to Kushina, Tsunade, and Konan. Mikoto already has a perfect sage body, so there is no need for this medicine. Although Kushina and Tsunade also have sage body, their sage body is not perfect at all. Is this? Tsunade opened the bottle cap and took a deep breath, feeling the cells in his body trembling with excitement. Remember the potion I gave Mikoto back then? It's this thing, but it's not the same as the one used by Mikoto. This potion can only get the perfect sage body. Hyuga Chen explained softly. Perfect sage body? Tsunade drank the medicine in one sip, and then he felt his body numb slightly, and his cells were dozens of times more active than before. It's such a powerful potion. I feel that my strength has increased a lot. Chakra is like the sea, inexhaustible. Tsunade clenched his fists and said. Among several women, Tsunade is not strong, except for the younger Konan. Tsunade is the weakest. Mikoto has eternal Mangekyo Sharingan plus perfect sage body, and also sage mode. The strength is deservedly the strongest. Kushina has lava fruit and also learned sage mode. Its strength is second only to Mikoto. Tsunade is a bit weaker than Mikoto and Kushina, so now Tsunade really wants to improve his strength. Not to mention overwhelming Mikoto and Kushina, at least he can't be weaker than them, otherwise his eldest sister's face will be put away. Before, Tsunade also learned sage mode, but unfortunately he didn't learn it, which made Tsunade very discouraged. Now that she saw the potion that could enhance her strength, Tsunade took it without saying a word. On the other hand, Kushina and Konan also took the medicine. Konan felt the biggest change. She was not too much chakra, but her crazy increase was hundreds of times, which shocked Konan herself. Konan was just Jonan's chakra before, and now chakra is more than 10 times the shadow level. You don't need to use a powerful ninjutsu and calculate the amount of chakra as before. Kushina slapped her fist and made a sound of breaking through the air. She has already stepped into the super shadow class now. Although the perfect sage body is useful to her, it is not too exaggerated. Hyuga Chen drew it himself, plus what Shueji gave him. Hyuga Chen still has 8 bottles of sage body potions. Hyuga Chen intends to give Nawaki a bottle of these 8 bottles of medicine another day, and keep the rest. Mikoto, don't cook my meal anymore, I have something else. After Hyuga Chen said to Mikoto, he used the space to teleport away. Coming to a desert island, Hyuga Chen sat down cross-legged and released 2 dead puppets, manipulating them to guard the surroundings. Then the mental power sank into the body, ignoring the chakra of the 9 group-tailed beasts in the body, and looked at the chakra of Otsutsuki Himura. Although you can use Otsutsuki Himura's chakra at will, it is not my thing at all, and there is no need to keep it now. Hitomi, devour God. Hyuga Chen devours Otsutsuki Himura's chakra frantically. Don't look at Hyuga Chen's body like a small group. In fact, this group of chakra is more than 9 tails chakra, but it is compressed and sealed by Hyuga Chen. As it continued to swallow, Hyuga Chen's chakra began to undergo qualitative changes. After Hyuga Chen was completely swallowed, the boundless aura and coercion overwhelmed the sea, and the entire island trembled for a long time. Hyuga Chen was covered in a white robe, a black gold jade appeared on the neckline, and 12 black truth-seeking balls floated behind him. Leaning on the chakra of Otsutsuki Himura, Hyuga Chen completely entered the 6th level, although he only entered the 6th level. Feeling the strengthened body once again, the huge almost infinite chakra, Hyuga Chen let out a loud roar. The sound made waves in the sea, setting off waves of more than 10 meters. Hyuga Chen stood up, his clothes, including the truth-seeking ball, disappeared. Hyuga Chen could not wear a white robe. There were a few truth-seeking balls running around the street floating behind him, which was too pretending. Taking out the long-preserved blood following the snare scroll, Hyuga Chen just wanted to use it, but found that it would not be used at all. Immediately flashed to the system space and found Shueji. Shueji, how do you use this scroll? I thought it was a big deal. Just use it silently in my heart. Shueji shook her head speechlessly. Oh. Hyuga Chen nodded, then used it silently. The scroll turned into a blue light and merged into the body. The 7 chakras in Hyuga Chen's body simply merged with each other to form the supreme, bloody snare that reached the realm of the gods. I won't bother you. After saying Hyuga Chen, he left the system space. Shueji was stunned for a moment, and then whispered softly, this be *********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** Hyuga Chen used 6 levels of power on the sea. After Hyuga Chen stopped, the sea level dropped by half a meter. Unexpectedly, relying on chakra that swallowed Otsutsuki Himura, I would be promoted to the 6th level. Hyuga Chen lying on the beach, silently said. Although he has entered the 6th level, it does not mean that Hyuga Chen will give up his previous plan. Now Hyuga Chen is just entering the 6th level, and he is still far from the peak of the 6 paths. If you compare chakra alone, Hyuga Chen can't even compare to 6 Madara. and he will continue to work hard now. Although no one can rival the combat power, this does not mean that he will give up improving his strength, and no one will give up if he can improve his strength. Shueji, can you hear it? I can hear you. I can see everything about you. What's the matter with you now? Shueji's voice reached Hyuga Chen's ears. Everything can be seen, isn't that when I did that, you can see it too. Hyuga Chen suddenly sat up from the beach. Bah. Who would see you doing that kind of thing? I'm afraid of hot eyes. In the system space, Shueji's cheeks were red, and she gave a soft puck. She looked very cute, but it was a pity that Hyuga Chen couldn't see it. That's not necessarily true, who knows if you will peek. Humph. The system can be blocked, you can choose to block. Shueji hummed, dissatisfied. Forget it, I'm afraid you won't see my handsome face, and then it won't be good if you get depression. Hyuga Chen lay down again and said with his legs folded, everything doesn't go to the Three Treasures Hall, what do you want me to do? Shueji was not going to talk to him. I have to ask you for something. Can't I just chat with you? Haha. Shueji's sneer's irony came, which made Hyuga Chen very embarrassed. There is indeed something wrong, my two puppets, I want them to be the same as the intelligent robots in the movie, what can be done? Hyuga Chen said with a slight embarrassment. I knew that if you gave you two smart chips, you just put them in their bodies, and 200,000 exchange points, I have already deducted them for you. Hey! Why are you making your own claim? Hyuga Chen yelled a few times, but it was a pity that Shueji ignored him at all. Episode 162, Why is it a bug? I'm not cheated, am I? What about a good smart chip? Hyuga Chen held two mechanical bug-like things, and wondered if it was scammed by Shueji. What do you think it is? It's easy to use. Shueji said dissatisfied. Then how do you use this thing? I have set it up for you. Now you only need to put the mechanical insects into their bodies, and they will recognize you as the master and follow your orders. Shueji's voice came. It's so simple, you said it earlier. It made me study for a long time, deserve it. Shueji said with joy. Hyuga Chen controlled Otsutsuki Himura and Uchiha Chinching to walk over, and then put two mechanical bugs on them. Two mechanical bugs quickly penetrated into them, and then manipulated the two bodies. Master. The two bowed to Hyuga Chen in salute. Mechanical sound, unsentimental voice, bad review. Hyuga Chen spit out slightly. You have a lot of problems. There are better ones in the system. Just the exchange points you have accumulated, you can afford to buy better ones. Now this coup is alive. Shueji's voice appeared in 263's mind. Hyuga Chen felt he was hit hard. I want to complain to you, you actually look down on me and think I am poor. Hyuga Chen, who felt that the glass heart was hit hard, roared in his mind. Aren't you poor? Shueji's words pierced Hyuga Chen's small heart like a sharp sword, causing 10,000 tons of damage to Hyuga Chen, feeling very heartbroken. One day, I will become a rich man. When the time comes, I will buy the universe directly, buy one and throw one away. Hyuga Chen vowed secretly in his heart. After that, Hyuga Chen stopped talking to Shueji, and looked at Uchiha Chinching, which was exactly the left eye of Uchiha Chinching. Uchiha Chinching's left eye is the pupil technique of distinguished heavenly gods, which Hyuga Chen wanted very much. Take off your left eye. Hyuga Chen looked at Uchiha Chinching Road after thinking for a while. Yes, master. Uchiha Chinching dug out his left eye expressionlessly, and then handed it to Hyuga Chen. Otsutsuki Himura, you created Byakugan for Uchiha Chinching. Hyuga Chen ordered, but Otsutsuki Himura still didn't move, as if he hadn't heard it. Hyuga Chen was stunned. This guy is not pregnant, right? The product produced by the system that is said to be well-proportioned must be a boutique product. It just broke. Yukiheim, I was not fooled by you, am I? Why Otsutsuki Himura didn't obey the order at all? It wouldn't be a malfunction, right? What you gave me is not defective, right? Hyuga Chen complained in his mind. Nonsense, they don't have a name at all right now. You call your name indiscriminately, how do they know who you are called? Shueji said softly, is that so? Hyuga Chen scratched his head. From now on, you will be called Otsutsuki Himura, and you will be called Uchiha Chinching. Hyuga Chen pointed to the two and said, yes, master. The two nodded dumbly, and then fell silent. What do I think of them being stupid? Are you sure this is smart, isn't this a fool? Hyuga Chen asked Shueji in his mind. They are now equivalent to human babies. Except for executing your orders, they are ignorant and ignorant. This requires them to learn by themselves. Shueji said, so troublesome. Hyuga Chen shook his head, feeling that this smart chip is too bad. Don't you know that cheap goods are not good products? In fact, this smart chip is not bad and durable. Shueji's words left Hyuga Chen speechless. She said that he was poor. Does he want to be so poor? The key is that Hyuga Chen could not find a channel to exchange points. Hyuga Chen doesn't want to talk to Shueji anymore, always likes to expose his shortcomings. Looking at Sharingan in his hand, Hyuga Chen used God to devour this Sharingan. By devouring this Sharingan, Hyuga Chen got the distinguished heavenly gods known as the strongest illusion. Looking at Uchiha Qingqing, who had been replaced by Byakugan, Hyuga Chen frowned slightly, feeling very awkward. Hyuga Chen has a little obsessive-compulsive disorder. Looking at Uchiha Qingqing's different eyes, he feels very awkward. So under Hyuga Chen's order, Uchiha Qingqing dug down another Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and asked Otsutsuki Himura to create Byakugan for him to replace it. At this time, Hyuga Chen feels much more comfortable, but with a pair of Byakugan, is he still Uchiha? Hyuga Chen didn't care about it. He sent the two of them away, let them travel through the world of ninja and learn human wisdom, at least not the same as they are now, like a big idiot. Looking at the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan in his hand, Hyuga Chen used the devouring god to swallow this eye as well. It is useless to keep one eye. The pupil technique of this eye is monthly reading. After devouring this eye, Hyuga Chen felt that his pupil technique seemed to be stronger in monthly reading, and his pupil power also increased slightly, but it was almost negligible. Looking at the sky, the sun is about to go down, Hyuga Chen is also ready to go back. When they got home, Mikoto and the others were having dinner. It smells good, the saliva is flowing out. Hyuga Chen swiftly came to the table, and was stopped by Mikoto as soon as he was about to start. Go wash your hands first. Mikoto glared at Hyuga Chen and shouted softly, yes, my wife. Hyuga Chen said weirdly. After the meal, Tsunade asked curiously, what did you vent your anger? I feel like you have changed a little. Of course it was a breakthrough. Have you broken through to a higher level? Kushina asked with her mouth open in surprise. Who is this son, Xiao Langjun and Yushu Linfeng, just relying on a handsome character to shock the ancient and the present? Breakthrough is not a trivial thing. Hyuga Chen said with a flutter of hair, coquettishly. Kushina clenched a fist and punched him lightly, and groaned, it's really annoying to see your virtue. Hyuga Chen reached out and hugged Kushina with his left arm, and Mikoto with his right arm, and laughed and said, to celebrate my breakthrough in strength, we will have a big sleep tonight. The three Tsunade girls were blushing, and they didn't mean to resist. In the past 3 years, they had been eaten cleanly. Sleeping together often happened. The three girls were used to it. However, it is impossible to say that you are not shy, but if you are shy, you have to go together, otherwise they are alone, and I am afraid that Hyuga Chen will not be able to get out of bed. I was sleeping together, including me? Conan pointed at himself dumbfounded, with a slight panic and ecstatic expression on his face. Conan, you are still young, wait until you grow up. Hyuga Chen reached out and touched Conan's head, and said earnestly, Conan is still a lowly. Although Hyuga Chen is a scumbag, he will not attack Conan. Cough. No matter how you want to raise it for 2 years, it will not be too late to start. Conan lowered his head, frustrated when he heard the words. Actually, I have grown up. Conan whispered, his voice very low. After the meal, before Mikoto cleared the table, Hyuga Chen took Tsunade, Mikoto, and Kushina back to the room. There was no sleep tonight. Cough cough. The specific plot can be supplemented by your own brain. Episode 163, White Zetsu, are you sure it is here? Hyuga Chen asked faintly. Yes, Master Chen told Terumi Mei who was looking for to live here. White Zetsu said respectfully. Well, there is nothing to do with you here. Hyuga Chen nodded, then motioned for White Zetsu to get out. White Zetsu nodded quickly, and then left quickly. He didn't want to stay with Hyuga Chen. TSK Tusk, lovely Terumi Mei little lowly, I'm here. Hyuga Chen quickly dived into the big house in front of him, and started looking for Terumi Mei. Soon Hyuga Chen was by an artificial lake and found Terumi Mei, who was still a little lowly. Lovely little sister, what are you doing sitting by the lake? It's dangerous. Hyuga Chen stretched out his hand to pick up Terumi Mei from behind, and Terumi Mei was taken aback. Who are you and what you want to do? You actually broke into my house. Terumi Mei struggled anxiously, but the opponent's hands were like big pliers, and Terumi Mei couldn't break free. Little sister, I think you have a good aptitude, so I specially accepted you as a disciple and taught you to be the #1 female ninja in the ninja world. Hyuga Chen said with a smile. Huh. Shameless, lolicon, perverted. Shueji in the system space snorted coldly, and filled Hyuga Chen's mind with endless contempt. Who said I was controlled by Lolita? I obviously controlled it all. Hyuga Chen retorted uncomfortably. Shueji was speechless. Let go of me, I don't need you to teach, I'm very good, be careful when I hit you. Terumi Mei yelled in a delicate voice. It is a pity that her constantly waving limbs made her words very unconvincing. Hyuga Chen gave a weird laugh, then took out the sage body potion and poured it down on Terumi Mei. Hey! Little sister, I have fed you some poison. You'd better not move, this poison can only be solved by me. Hyuga Chen threatened with a strange smile. It's so wretched to laugh, bullying the little girl, you are a real scumbag. Shuiji's contemptuous voice came. Hyuga Chen shrugged and ignored Shuiji's words. What happened to the scum? I am a scum and I am proud. Can an improper scum man open the harem? Terumi Mei really believed Hyuga Chen's intimidation, tears in her eyes, and pitifully thought, is she going to die if she is so small? Very unwilling. Terumi Mei is very unwilling. She is less than 10 years old. Is she about to be poisoned and end her life? Could you give me the antidote? I don't want to die. What? Terumi Mei wept. Don't cry. If you cry again, I won't give you the antidote. Then you will wait to be poisoned to death. The people who were killed by this poison are all dark in color, their bodies are rotten, and there is no bone residue left. I don't think you want to die so miserably, Hyuga Chen threatened unscrupulously. I won't cry, can you let me go? Terumi Mei sobbed. I can let you go, but if you dare to run, I don't need to say more about the consequences. Hyuga Chen let go of Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei, who was out of confinement, immediately turned around and looked at Hyuga Chen. Only then did she really see Hyuga Chen. What a handsome elder brother, it would be great if I could marry him in the future. Terumi Mei's eyes were shining with peach-hearted eyes, and she was stunned. She had to say that the girls in Hokage were really precocious. Then Terumi Mei shook her head and came back to her senses. The other party is a big villain. How can she have a good impression of the big villain? What's your purpose for that? If you need money, what my family has is, you must never hurt me, otherwise my family won't let you go. Terumi Mei threatened weakly. Dare to threaten me? Believe it or not, I will leave and let you die. Hyuga Chen stared at Terumi Mei viciously. Terumi Mei shook her head in fear, with misty eyes, looking at Hyuga Chen pitifully. Come with me. Hyuga Chen reached out and took Terumi Mei's little hand, and walked outside. Then, if you go out like this, you will be caught. Terumi Mei reminded. After that, Terumi Mei scolded herself for being stupid. Why did she remind her in a wicked manner? I didn't expect you to worry about me? It's okay, no one in this world can catch me. Hyuga Chen smiled confidently, and then pulled Terumi Mei away. They did meet a lot of people along the way, but everyone just ignored them as if they hadn't seen them. Terumi Mei was also at a loss when watching this scene. Until she left her house, Terumi Mei did not come back to her senses. Let's go. Hyuga Chen bends down and hugs Terumi Mei, soaring into the sky. Looking at the blue sky and white clouds, and the small crowd below, Terumi Mei also felt a novelty. No matter how precocious she was just a little girl. The feeling of flying made her very excited. After a long time of excitement, Terumi Mei asked Hyuga Chen, where are you taking me? Take you away and sell you, do you believe it? Hyuga Chen asked with a smile. I don't believe it, I'm not poisoned at all, right? Terumi Mei shook her head, her eyes shining brightly. Oh? How did you find that you were not poisoned? Hyuga Chen looked at Terumi Mei in his arms, curiously. I guessed it was right, I really didn't get poisoned. Terumi Mei said excitedly, her excitement broke. It was actually her guess just now. After Terumi Mei calmed down, she checked her body. Not only did she find no signs of poisoning, but chakra showed a tremendous increase, and even her physical strength became much stronger. It turned out to be a guess. I didn't expect that you, a little girl, is not stupid and knows to cheat me, but I am very upset. What do you say? Hyuga Chen stopped in the air, looking at Terumi Mei with a gloomy face. The appearance of killing people. Terumi Mei felt murderous and shivered all over her body. As long as you don't kill me, I will listen to you. Terumi Mei's voice was slightly trembling, and she was very scared, not daring to look at Hyuga Chen at all. Ha ha ha, don't worry, I just made a joke with you to see how scared you are. Hyuga Chen said with a laugh. For fear of drinking the little girl, there will be a smile. Who else can match your face? Why is the system tied to you? Shuiji's contemptuous words sounded again. If you still want to see outside, just shut up, otherwise I don't mind blocking everything. Hyuga Chen threatened Shuiji. Shuiji didn't dare to speak anymore. She was really afraid that Hyuga Chen blocked her perception of the outside. Although the system space was huge, she was boring all by herself. Where are you taking me? Looking at Hyuga Chen, who was laughing, Terumi Mei was not so scared, and asked curiously. At that time, you will know. Hyuga Chen said, and then speeded up the flight. But in order to take care of Terumi Mei, Hyuga Chen did not fly too fast. Knowing that she is not in danger, Terumi Mei, who was not worried, looked at the scenery below from high above, marveling again and again. Standing high and looking far away, in the sky, Terumi Mei could see many sights she hadn't seen before. Episode 164. Who is she? Please explain to me why you brought back a little girl when you went out for a long time. Kushina looked at Hyuga Chen fiercely. I said Kushina, why do you even eat the vinegar of a little girl? I just think Terumi Mei has a good talent, so I want to teach her so that a piece of raw jade will not lose its brilliance. Hyuga Chen stretched his hands and said helplessly, no matter whether others believed his words or not, he himself believed it anyway. Who would believe it? You lied to me when I was 5 or 6 years old. Do you think I would believe you? Kushina looked at Hyuga Chen with contempt. You guys are beasts who lie to little girls. I have seen your essence since you were young. Tsunade also showed contempt at Hyuga Chen. Kushina, you are too much. I remember it was like you delivered it to the door. Hyuga Chen pinched Kushina's nose and said, I didn't bring it to the door by myself, it's obviously your fault. Kushina opened Hyuga Chen's hand and said unreasonably, yes, I lied to you, you little fool was lied to by me all at once. Hyuga Chen said with a smile, I actually said I was a little fool, damn it Chen. Kushina grinned her teeth and wanted to take a bite. Why don't you speak, Mikoto, this guy deceived another girl. Tsunade took Mikoto's hand and fanned the flames. Now Tsunade fears that the world will not be chaotic, and just wants to trouble Hyuga Chen. Hyuga Chen glared at Tsunade fiercely, and then gave her a look that looked around. Tsunade looked at Hyuga Chen's eyes, feeling a cold in his heart, and then immediately sat on the sofa with an obedient look. Hyuga Chen nodded in satisfaction, planning to let Tsunade go. Seeing everyone looking at him, Mikoto said faintly, what can I say, you don't know him. After speaking, Mikoto gave Hyuga Chen angrily. After Tsunade, Mikoto, and Kushina were angry, they all reluctantly accepted Terumi Mei, a new member of the family. But Konan couldn't accept this little loli, who was not too close to her age, and was full of hostility towards Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei also saw Konan's hostile gaze, and dared not to show weakness, and glared back. The eyes of the two clashed in the air, and electric light appeared faintly. Terumi Mei, how did you come with him? Kushina asked curiously. Tsunade, Mikoto, and Konan also looked at Terumi Mei curiously. They also wanted to know how Terumi Mei was tricked by Hyuga Chen. Terumi Mei first glanced at Hyuga Chen, and then said everything that happened today. After listening to Terumi Mei's narration, Tsunade, Mikoto, and Kushina all looked at Hyuga Chen with perverted, beastly eyes. Even Konan, who has always admired his brother, looked at Hyuga Chen with a little contempt, feeling that the glorious image of his brother in his heart had completely collapsed. There was nothing unusual in the eyes of Hyuga Chen facing the girls. What kind of person am I, don't you know? Hyuga Chen said softly, we know that you are a big pervert, but I didn't expect that you still underestimated your lower limit. You are a deadly lolicon, then you are not in love with me as a big pervert. Hyuga Chen said triumphantly, humph. You don't want to sleep in our bed this month. Kushina hummed softly. Hyuga Chen laughed, I won't be on your bed, won't I still carry you to my bed? Terumi Mei, do you want to go back? Don't worry, this big pervert doesn't dare to bully you with us. Kushina took Terumi Mei's hand and said. Terumi Mei thought for a while, then shook her head. Why? Konan asked unhappy. She really wanted Terumi Mei to go back. My parents and relatives are no longer there. They are lonely every time. It's boring to stay in the family. Terumi Mei said softly. Unexpectedly, Terumi Mei, don't worry. We will be your relatives from now on. Kushina touched Terumi Mei's head lightly. We won't let this big pervert bully you. Mikoto gave Hyuga Chen a blank look and said softly, that depression in Hyuga Chen's heart. Although he doesn't care very much, he can't always say that he is a pervert. It seems that it is necessary to show the majesty of the head of the family and teach them a lesson in bed. It is estimated that they will be honest at that time. Is it true that you teach me to practice? Terumi Mei cautiously asked Hyuga Chen. Of course it is true. What do you want to cultivate? As long as it can be taught, I will definitely teach you. Hyuga Chen nodded and said with a smile, then can you teach me to fly in the sky? Terumi Mei asked expectantly. Of course can. Terumi Mei doesn't need you to teach, we can teach her. Kushina said, taking Terumi Mei's hand. Sister Terumi Mei should let Sister Kushina teach it. There are many things I can't figure out about the paper escape secret technique that I developed, and I need my brother to give me some pointers. Konan took Hyuga Chen's hand and said, miming, your choice? Hyuga Chen asked with a blink of an eye. I should follow you to practice. Terumi Mei said after hesitating. After Konan heard it, his cheeks bulged slightly, like a little hamster, looking extraordinarily cute. When Hyuga Chen saw it, he couldn't help but squeezed Konan's face. It felt so cute. It was completely different from the cold Konan in Hyuga Chen's memory. There was a cute contrast. Konan accepted Hyuga Chen's face squeezing comfortably, and even glanced provocatively at Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei was very upset. Konan's provocation made Terumi Mei very uncomfortable, and there are other reasons that Terumi Mei can't say, that is, looking at Konan is upset. The two of them are you who see me unhappy, and I see you unhappy, the air is frozen because of their gazes. Hyuga Chen held one hand in hand and walked outside. He also didn't expect Konan's 5.3 gentle temper to be incompatible with Terumi Mei. Coming to the open space in front of the beach, Hyuga Chen first taught Terumi Mei Marine 6 styles. Marine 6 Styles is very inclusive and suitable for almost anyone. In the process of learning Marine 6 Styles, Terumi-Mei was also relieved of her nervousness, and the trace of fear and precaution that Hyuga Chen retained in her heart gradually disappeared. Seeing the smile on Terumi-Mei's face, Conan felt uncomfortable, his cheeks bulged again, and he didn't even fold the origami he usually liked. "Brother, come here quickly, I also want to show you my paper escape mystery," Conan shouted. "You practice by yourself first, I'll go and take a look first," Hyuga Chen said to Terumi-Mei, and then walked towards Conan. Terumi-Mei saw Hyuga Chen turning around and walking towards Conan, feeling a little disappointed in her heart, pouting her small mouth uncontrollably. Episode 165. Looking at Conan's paper escape secret technique, Hyuga Chen groaned, and then said, "Conan, your secret technique can only be considered good, and the flaws are somewhat obvious. Paper escape is afraid of water and oil. Although its capabilities are comprehensive, its shortcomings are more obvious. How about I teach you other escape techniques? But I really like this paper escape." Conan pursed his lips. "Conan, you are so stupid, and I didn't tell you to give up paper escape. I just taught you other ninjutsu to make up for your shortcomings." Hyuga Chen stroked Conan's head and said, "Oh. What kind of ninjutsu do you want to teach me, brother?" Conan nodded and looked at Hyuga Chen's face. "How about teaching you how to fuse the blood inheritance boundary?" Hyuga Chen asked with a smile. "Can Shuijia also teach?" Terumi-Mei walked over curiously. "As long as the two chakra nature changes merge, the blood succession boundary can be produced. It is very simple for me, but if you want to have the blood succession boundary, you will have to work hard." Hyuga Chen has merged 7 chakra property changes to form a bloody trap. Whether it is wood style, dust dunk, lawn dunk, bloody bound, bloody eliminated, Hyuga Chen can be used. I can only teach you 12 theories. Whether they can be developed or not depends on you yourself," Hyuga Chen said. "Okay, good. Theories are okay," Terumi-Mei said excitedly. Conan also looked at Hyuga Chen yearningly. The blood of the ninja is very attractive to every ninja, even Tsunade and the others came to be interested and listened to Hyuga Chen's narration seriously. Hyuga Chen unreservedly explained how to integrate the changes in the nature of chakra, as well as matters that need attention. The rest can only rely on themselves. Hyuga Chen can only mention a little. With a perfect sage body, in fact, you are all likely to merge wood style, a complete version of wood style," Hyuga Chen said. "Wood style?" Tsunade's eyes shone brightly. She was most eager to get wood style, not only for the power of wood style, but also because of wood style's special meaning to the Senju clan. Looking at the women who worked hard to study, Hyuga Chen didn't bother, and said a few words to the women, and then left the island and the country of water. Hyuga Chen's destination this time is the ancient country of Lulan, and the real goal is Dragon Vein. Hyuga Chen is very curious about dragon veins, because dragon veins can let people travel through time and space. Hyuga Chen can't do this now, even Ten Tails does not have this ability, and no one knows how long the dragon vein has existed. Perhaps it is older than the sacred tree. Hyuga Chen's speed is very fast. After arriving in the still prosperous ancient country of Lulan, Hyuga Chen frowned. According to the time calculation, the current centipede should have passed through for a long time. Why there is no sign? Has it changed? Hyuga Chen whispered to himself. He didn't believe that if the ambitious 100 feet crossed over, he would do nothing. Stupid Chen, with you, do you think Baizu can still cross over? Shuiji's words suddenly awakened Hyuga Chen. Right. Baizu traveled from the future, but now does the dragon vein have a future? I remind you, Baizu does not travel from the future. Shuiji reminded Hyuga Chen. Isn't it from the future? Where did he come from? He popped out of the cracks in the rock? Hyuga Chen questioned. Did he even think that Shuiji would deceive him? Hyuga Chen waited for a long time, but Shuiji did not speak, making Hyuga Chen depressed, and she wished to run into the system space and beat her ***. After inquiring about it, Hyuga Chen also knew that the current queen was Sarah, who was only 12 years old. Using space ninjutsu, when he came to the palace, Hyuga Chen began to look for Sarah. He also wanted Sarah to take him to Dragon Vessel. The most important thing is that Hyuga Chen is very curious about Sarah. He can control the dragon veins with endless energy. Hyuga Chen can't be curious. Sala is obviously just an ordinary person without power, so how can he have the ability to control the dragon veins? Hyuga Chen is very curious. The small country is not big, and the palace is not small. Hyuga Chen walked casually in the palace, and the maids around him seemed to be unable to see him at all. Lulan is a country that is incompatible with all the countries in the ninja world. Only the head of this country is called the queen, while the heads of other countries are called daimyo. When she arrived at Sarah's bedroom, Hyuga Chen finally found her, but Sarah was taking a shower at this time. Listening to the rushing water, Hyuga Chen was lying on the big pink bed. As a big gentleman, Hyuga Chen would never do something like a sneak peek. Even if you really want to see it, Hyuga Chen will not look at it secretly. Besides, a 12-year-old girl has no arrogant figure and nothing to look good. Lying on the soft big bed, Hyuga Chen has no expression on his face. He has been lying here for more than an hour. The people inside have not yet come out. If there is no movement, Hyuga Chen thinks that the other party has been drowned in the bath. After another half an hour, Sarah hummed and walked out of the bathroom, naked, because no one dared to break into her room, so Sarah was used to this. Hearing the sound of footsteps, Hyuga Chen got up to do it, and her eyes met Sarah, and the air was instantly still. Looking at Sarah's very predictable figure, Hyuga Chen said that he would take back his previous thoughts. The body of the 12-year-old girl is also quite interesting. Aha! After realizing, Sarah finally reacted, yelled at 710, and then hurried back to the bathroom. Hyuga Chen digs out his ears. The voice is indeed loud. If it weren't for Hyuga Chen to set up a soundproof barrier, Sarah's voice might have spread throughout all palaces. After a long time, Sarah poked her head out of the bathroom. She was already dressed and looked at Hyuga Chen angrily. Hyuga Chen turned his head and didn't see it. It's not all his fault. Who would let the other party take a bath without clothes, and ran out naked? You also put on a yukata anyway. Hyuga Chen thought so, but Sarah didn't think so. In her opinion, it was the fault of this shameless little thief. He was definitely not a good person to break into the girl's boudoir without authorization. Hyuga Chen didn't know, he has now been labeled as not a good person. Knowing that Hyuga Chen would not care, he was not a good person. Who are you, dare to break into this queen's palace? Believe it or not, I let someone chop off your head. Sarah pinched her waist with one hand and pointed at Hyuga Chen angrily. At this time, Sarah looked at Hyuga Chen seriously, and saw Hyuga Chen's handsome face. His face turned red, and her little heart beat faster. Sarah shook her head vigorously and threw out all the messy thoughts in her mind. This is a ill-intentioned little thief. No matter how handsome he is a badass. Episode 166. Who are you? Hurry up, or I'll let the guards catch you. Seeing Hyuga Chen not speaking, Sarah gave a soft voice again. Ha ha ha, who am I? I am the bad guy in the legend. You haven't seen Queen Sarah. Hyuga Chen stood up and walked towards Sarah step by step, making a wicked laugh. Don't come here, I'm going to shout when you come again. Sarah clenched her clothes nervously, with a frightened expression on her face. Yeah? Ha ha ha, you yell. No one will come to rescue you even if you break your throat. Hyuga Chen laughed wildly. Come on. There is an assassin, come on. Sarah yelled, but apart from Hyuga Chen, who was gradually approaching, no one came to rescue her. No one will come to rescue you, my little queen. Hyuga Chen walked to Sarah, lifted her chin with her fingers, and looked down at her with a downward eye. What do you want? I'm still young, you don't want to. Sarah flushed with tears in her eyes, and looked at Hyuga Chen dimly. Hyuga Chen is speechless. Does he really look like a beast? Don't worry. I still look down on you as a young girl. Hyuga Chen put away the evil smile on his face and said silently. Sarah, who should have been happy when he heard this, was very upset. Is this looking down on her? Looking down at the small steamed buns growing on his chest, it can't be said that it is small, but it is not big. Am I really so unattractive? Sarah was lost in thought alone. Hyuga Chen stretched out her hand and suffered a brain collapse at Sarah, who was trapped in her own world. Tears flowed out of her pain. Sarah, who is the queen, has been confessed all day long, when someone slapped her so boldly and tried so hard. Sarah, who had never suffered, knelt down, lowered her head and started crying quietly. Hyuga Chen was a little bit embarrassed. She didn't expect Sarah to cry so easily. Now he is gentle comforting, or to carry the role of the bad guy to the end. Think about it, Hyuga Chen still decided to continue to play the bad guy. It's easier to play in his true colors. Don't cry. If you dare to cry again, I will **** you first and then kill you. Hyuga Chen threatened fiercely. The effect is surprisingly effective. Sarah listened to Hyuga Chen's threat, and immediately did not dare to speak out. Get up and I'll ask you, do you know the origin of the dragon veins? Hyuga Chen stretched out his hand to lift Sarah, who was squatting on the ground, and asked faintly. Dragon veins, your purpose is dragon veins. Sarah wiped tears from the corner of her eyes and looked at Hyuga Chen vigilantly. You die this heart. I won't tell you anything about dragon veins, this is my promise to my mother. Sarah, who was originally terrified, had a strong face. Her mother told her before she was alive that she must protect the dragon veins. I have the ability to extract souls and check other people's memories. Are you sure you don't say it? After the soul is extracted, you will never live beyond life. Hyuga Chen threatened softly. Hyuga Chen was constantly afraid of drinking Sarah, which made Sarah more and more scared, and the strength he had originally shown disappeared. Sarah is just a little girl who has never experienced wind and rain. It is impossible to have too strong psychological quality. I only know that our family has the ability to open and close the dragon veins for generations. I really don't know the others. Sarah said with trembling arms. It's really not good. I actually bullied the little girl again. Shueji despised, she couldn't find a word to describe Hyuga Chen. Hyuga Chen completely ignored Shueji and said faintly, help me open the dragon veins, and I will let you go. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Sarah shook her head, and she would not agree to the matter even if she died. You are not afraid that I will kill you? A trace of fear flashed in Sarah's eyes, and then forced her down, looking at Hyuga Chen with a stubborn face. In fact, I don't need you, I can open the dragon veins. Hyuga Chen said jokingly, ah? No, you must not open the dragon veins. It is rumored that the dragon veins will cause a war to destroy the world. You must not open it. Sarah said anxiously, destroy the world? Hyuga Chen shook his head with a look of disdain. The dragon veins are indeed powerful, but the destruction of the world is still too exaggerated. Dragon veins can indeed destroy the world. Don't believe it. This is the message passed down from generation to generation in our family. Sarah said with an extremely solemn expression. Hyuga Chen smiled and didn't believe it at all. She's right. Dragon vessels can indeed destroy the world, but not directly destroying the world, but indirectly destroying the world. Shueji said. Hyuga Chen was taken aback. Could it be that dragon vessels really have such a powerful ability to actually destroy the world? Dragon veins can really destroy the world, will you lie to me? Hyuga Chen asked Shueji incredulously. Hyuga Chen admits that the dragon veins are very strong and mysterious, but it caused the destruction of the world. This is a bit too exaggerated. Anyway, Hyuga Chen doesn't believe it. If the dragon veins are so strong, can Namake's Minato seal the dragon veins? I'm talking about indirect destruction of the world. Did you understand it? Perhaps the person who destroyed the world is you. Shueji said angrily, and then ignored him. Shueji was very upset with Hyuga Chen's skeptical look. Shrugging, Hyuga Chen turned around and prepared to leave, and went to see the dragon veins. He wanted to know what is magical about the dragon veins. If I swallow the dragon veins, can I get the power to travel through time and space? Just thinking about it, Hyuga Chen's heart became hot. Although I know the possibility is unlikely, but this does not affect Hyuga Chen's speculation. What if I get it? Hey, do you want to go to Longmai? I want to go too. You don't celebrate your escape now, you dare to come to me, your head is very iron. Hyuga Chen turned his head and glanced at Sarah. Dragon veins are something in my house. Of course I want to go. I don't believe you can open the dragon veins. Only me can open the dragon veins. Are you afraid that I can't open the dragon veins and want to open it for me? I want to be beautiful. Sarah curled her lips. She was afraid that Hyuga Chen could really open the dragon veins, and then she could stop each other and save the world. Most people have the dream of saving the world in their hearts, and our Queen Sarah is no exception. Then you please. Hyuga Chen made a pleased gesture. He gave Hyuga Chen a fierce look, and then Sarah went out. She decided to wait for her to get him out and let the guards catch him. Then she must take revenge. Thinking of the scene of her own revenge in her mind, Sarah smiled on her face. What giggling? Quickly lead me ahead. Hyuga Chen patted the stupid queen. Let you be proud of it first. Sarah whispered and said secretly, then flung her red hair and strode forward. Episode 167. Watching letting herself yell and ignoring her guards and maids at all, Sarah was desperate. She felt that she was in two different worlds with these people. Don't call the little queen, it won't be good to make your voice hoarse. Hyuga Chen said lightly, damn it, it's you. Wait, this queen will surely cure you. Sarah looked at Hyuga Chen angrily, feeling that the face that made her amazing was damn it. Does it look that I am handsome and fall in love with me? Hyuga Chen teased, huh? I wouldn't like you as a bad guy, unless you don't have the idea of dragon veins, so I can still consider it. Sarah's voice became lower and lower, and finally she couldn't even hear it. But her blushing face had already betrayed her. Following Sarah to the location of dragon veins, Hyuga Chen smiled. So it turns out that dragon veins is here. Ah? You don't know the location of Longmai? Sarah was shocked. She felt as if she had done something stupid. I can find it even without you leading the way, but it will take a little longer. Hyuga Chen said softly. It's really hard to feel the energy fluctuations without careful sensing. The dragon veins are hidden deep. 207. Using Tenseigan's perspective ability, Hyuga Chen can clearly see the huge energy. How? It won't open, right? Sarah said triumphantly. Really? Hyuga Chen chuckled, and a dark truth-seeking ball appeared in his hand. The shape of the truth-seeking ball changed into a long sword, and Hyuga Chen gave a light wave. After the bang, the dragon vein energy quickly overflowed, and Sarah looked astonished, and then screamed. Why are you so violent? When it's over, how do you close the dragon veins now? Sarah looked at the devastated surroundings, crying without tears. Hyuga Chen reached out and grabbed the energy of a strand of dragon veins. It felt similar to natural energy. Even this is natural energy. I didn't feel that it was too special. Hyuga Chen looked puzzled, and didn't notice the difference between the dragon veins and chakra, why it can take people through time and space. Let's devour it first. Hyuga Chen, who was confused, didn't think about it anymore, and started to devour the dragon vein energy by using the devouring god. At the beginning, the dragon vein chakra was calm, but as Hyuga Chen swallowed, the dragon vein chakra ran away, forming a storm and involved Hyuga Chen and Sarah. Not good. Hyuga Chen felt a little bad. He reached out and grabbed Sarah. Just when he wanted to use the space to teleport away, there was a wave of time and space, and Hyuga Chen and Sarah disappeared. In a dense forest, Hyuga Chen and Sarah appeared here. Sarah was unconscious at this time, lying in Hyuga Chen's arms. Damn it, it's too big. Hyuga Chen cursed secretly. Although he knew that the dragon veins had the ability to reverse time and space, Hyuga Chen relied on his own time and space manipulation ability and did not take it to heart. The reality actually slapped Hyuga Chen. Under the power of the dragon veins, whether it is time or space, Hyuga Chen is hundreds of times more difficult to control than before. When Hyuga Chen is about to use the space to teleport, he has been sent here. Shuiji, do you know where this is? What time? Hyuga Chen asked anxiously, but he was not in a hurry. When Hyuga Chen came out, he told Tsunade they would go back at most a month. Now I don't know where they were thrown. What if it is decades later? If Tsunade and the others can't see Hyuga Chen, they won't be crazy. Now you know that you are in a hurry. Shuiji said jokingly, a little gloating in her voice. Shuiji, now is not the time to make a joke. Hyuga Chen frowned and shouted, he was really anxious now. I don't know how to be polite to others. It is now 300 years ago when Konoha was founded. I don't want to call me anymore. I don't want to talk to you. Shuiji said angrily. Hyuga Chen breathed a sigh of relief. As long as it is not the future, then how do I go back? Hyuga Chen asked. Don't call me, I can't hear. Shuiji's slightly angry voice came, and after that, no matter how Hyuga Chen shouted, Shuiji remained silent. Oh. I can only look for her after Shuiji calms down. Hyuga Chen sighed. Although Hyuga Chen, as the host of the system, has the right to order Shuiji, and Shuiji could not refuse, but Hyuga Chen did not want to do this. He did not use Shuiji as a tool. Although Shuiji is a system wizard, after contact with Shuiji, Hyuga Chen also knows that she is not a virtual program, but a real life. Under normal circumstances, Hyuga Chen will respect Shuiji. Konoha was established 300 years ago. How did it come to this time? Hyuga Chen shook his head. He was not familiar with the current situation at all. Seeing that Sarah has not awakened yet, Hyuga Chen uses wood style to build a house, and then put Sarah on the wooden bed. He had checked Sarah, and Sarah was fine, just fainted. Separate a wood clone and let him investigate the situation. Now I don't know how to go back, so let's get to know this era first. Sarah opened her eyes in confusion, feeling her head dizzy and uncomfortable. Where is this place? Am I still alive? Sarah asked blankly. Of course you are alive, but I don't know where it is. Hyuga Chen said quite speechlessly. How could something like this happen? What happened to us? I have traveled through time and space. Dragon Veins possesses the power of time and space. The time we are in now should be more than 300 years ago. Hyuga Chen explained to Sarah after thinking about it. Is I dreaming, or you are lying to me? Traveling through time and space, how is this possible? Why don't I know that Dragon Mai has this ability? Sarah looked at Hyuga Chen suspiciously. Hyuga Chen said angrily, what do you have to fool? Do you really know the Dragon Veins? Sarah was asked all of a sudden. She didn't know much about Dragon Veins, she just knew that Dragon Veins had the power to subvert the world. Then how do we go back? Sarah asked blankly. After arriving more than 300 years ago, Sarah was very hesitant. I don't know how to go back now, but don't worry, since I brought you here, I will protect your safety and take you back. Hyuga Chen comforted Sarah. Sarah was silent, her body curled up, showing the anxiety in her heart. Sarah did not have strong power and was well protected since she was a child. She would only be confused when she really encountered things. After a long time, Sarah looked up at Hyuga Chen and asked softly, will you really protect me? Of course I will protect you. Although you are just a vase, I will also protect the vase from breaking. Hyuga Chen chuckled lightly. The panic in the heart, the fear of the unfamiliar environment, all because of Hyuga Chen's words disappeared and replaced by anger. I'm not a vase, you are a vase. Sarah shouted angrily. Episode 168. After half a day, Sarah also stabilized completely, and she was not so afraid in her heart. But she didn't dare to leave Hyuga Chen. She had to see him to feel relieved, because Sarah was afraid that Hyuga Chen would leave her behind. In case Hyuga Chen leaves her, Sarah really doesn't know how to live in Fong Fong, an unfamiliar place in her life. Wood Clone, who Hyuga Chen sent out to inquire about the news, also came back, and Hyuga Chen also got most of the information at this time. They are now located in the territory of the country of fire, and now there is a country of fire, but there is no ninja village, but ninja families of all sizes. This era is very chaotic, and families are fighting constantly. For the sake of profit and survival, human life is worthless in this era. After understanding this era, Hyuga Chen understood why Uchiha Madara also yearned for peace. With the cruelty of this era, it is estimated that people living in this era will yearn for peace. Although the ninjas of this era also yearn for peace, but yearning for peace does not mean that there will be peace. Under the background of the Great Era, the word peace is very weak. When you have not allowed the world to accommodate your strength, you can only accommodate the world. This may be the reason why Senju Hashirama is revered by everyone, because he changed the times and put an end to troubled times. Hyuga Chen said with faint emotion. Although it was Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara that put an end to the chaos together, people usually only remember the number one. Few people remember Uchiha Madara, who was defeated by Senju Hashirama. This is the reality. No one can be blamed. If you are to blame, you are not as good as a human being. I'm hungry. Sarah whispered. Well, I'll get you some food. Hyuga Chen stood up, turned and walked outside the house. Wait. Sarah yelled in a flustered manner. What's wrong with my queen? Hyuga Chen turned around helplessly. Sarah shed tears when she heard the grievance, and said dimly, Are you despising me? You won't leave me? I'm so scared. Will you take me with you? Hyuga Chen was taken aback, his eyes softened. The other party was just a queen who had never experienced suffering. When she came to a completely strange place, it was normal to be panicked. Don't worry. I said that if I will not leave you, I will not leave you. This is my promise. I am not easy to promise anything, but as long as the promise is made, it will definitely be completed. Hyuga Chen lowered his body and stroked Sarah, set his head. Feeling the warm breath passed over, Sarah wiped her tears, nodded gently, grabbed Hyuga Chen's arm with both hands, and did not let go. Hyuga Chen is her only life-saving straw, her only spiritual sustenance. Now she just wants to closely follow Hyuga Chen. That's Sarah, don't you know your name? My name is Hyuga Chen, you can call me Chen. Hyuga Chen said softly. Hyuga Chen? It seems familiar, I seem to have heard it before. Ah. You are Hyuga Chen, the ninja demon Hyuga Chen? Sarah cried out in surprise. What's the situation? Is my reputation spread so widely that even a small country like Lulan knows me? Hyuga Chen was a little confused. Yeah. So annoying, why our Lulan is a small country, our Lulan is very famous. Sarah said dissatisfied. Is Lulan a small country in the first place? Hyuga Chen murmured in his heart, but didn't say anything. Otherwise he would have to raise the bar again. You haven't said yet, how do you know my reputation? Hyuga Chen changed the subject. Through the TV. It was broadcast on TV, saying that you are broken, bloodthirsty, innocent, despicable, and shameless. But this is also a matter of many years ago. If it weren't for my natural memory, I would not think about it. Stand up. Listening to the words popping out of Sarah's mouth, Hyuga Chen's face became darker and darker. If he knew which B*************** D was making the report, Hyuga Chen would have to destroy his family. Are you angry? Sarah asked cautiously. All right. By the way, aren't you afraid of me? Hyuga Chen asked curiously. I feel you are a good person, not as bad as the legend. Sarah said seriously. I won't say that after you wait. Hyuga Chen laughed, and then separated a wood clone and asked him to find something to eat. Although Hyuga Chen can use yin and yang to create food, Hyuga Chen feels that such food has no soul, so there is no direct meaning of creating food at all. In fact, there are many problems. After chatting with Sarah for a few days, Sarah fell asleep tiredly. What she experienced today made Sarah very tired. Although she fell asleep, Sarah still did not let go, clutching Hyuga Chen's clothes tightly. Hyuga Chen did not break free, leaving Sarah to hold it, and began to contact Shueji in his heart. Shueji, stop making trouble. Okay, I apologize to you. Can you tell me how to go back? Humph. It's easy to want to go back. 1 million exchange points can send you back. Shueji snorted softly. 1 million exchange points? You are robbing. Hyuga Chen said bitterly. Originally there were 500,000 redemption points, plus his 8 years of redemption points, a total of 580,000, and 200,000 were used to redeem the smart computer, and there are still 380,000. There is 1 million redemption points. You can find the dragon veins and use the power of the dragon veins to teleport you back, and you can go directly back to the time you teleported over. It seems that the power of dragon veins can only be used. Hyuga Chen said with a sigh, who made him poor, forgot to tell you. Actually, this is not the world you are in, but the parallel world. Shueji said softly. What? This is a parallel world? Hyuga Chen was shocked. This is also the reason why I said that dragon veins can indirectly destroy the world, because dragon veins are the nodes of time and space connecting parallel worlds. You should know people in one world and discover what happens in another world. Hyuga Chen knows, of course he knows what will happen, because he has already begun to plan in his heart. No wonder you said before that I might be the one who will destroy the world. A smile on Hyuga Chen's face became brighter and brighter. Originally, Hyuga Chen only wanted to be safe and stable, and find a way back. Now that he knew that this was a parallel world, Hyuga Chen couldn't settle down anymore. Before, Hyuga Chen didn't want to make trouble. It was because he was afraid that it would affect the future and cause Tsunade and the others to disappear. Time is a mysterious thing. Even Hyuga Chen, who has time and space control, can't grasp it. Now knowing that this is a parallel world, Hyuga Chen has no scruples in his heart. The parallel world, except for the unexpected intersection point of the dragon vein, will never intersect between the two worlds. What happens here will definitely not affect his world. This is equivalent to another world. What to do if you discover another world is of course plundering everything. There was a greedy green light in Hyuga Chen's eyes, staring at the world like a wolf. Using multiple wood clone techniques, Hyuga Chen asked them to go out to inquire about the 9 big-tailed beasts, and by the way, to inquire about the specific situation of this world. Then Hyuga Chen will do a big job. Episode 169. Are you awake? It's a coincidence that the meat I grilled is already cooked. How about you come and taste it? Hyuga Chen took a skewer of grilled meat and handed it to Sarah. Sarah rubbed her eyes, took the meat skewers, and took a light bite. It's delicious. Sarah nodded, then ignored her image, and ate it hungrily, seeming to be really hungry. Aren't you going to eat? Sarah looked at Hyuga Chen while eating. You eat. I'm not hungry. Hyuga Chen shook his head. He no longer needs food to supplement energy. Food is nothing more than satisfying his appetite. Shueji, can you bring others into the system space? Hyuga Chen asked. Yes, as long as the other party is not malicious to you, you can bring someone into the system space. What? Are you going to bring that little girl in? Shueji said in a slightly excited tone. You seem very happy? Of course I'm happy. I am very boring in the system space. If you bring someone in, you can chat with me and have fun. Well then. I'll take Sarah in a while. Let Sarah stay in the system space first. Hyuga Chen said softly. He has important things to do next, and it is very inconvenient to bring Sarah this oil bottle. After Sarah was full, Hyuga Chen said to Sarah, and then took Sarah into the system space. Standing on the snowy ground, Sarah suddenly opened her eyes and looked very cute. It's so beautiful here. Is this your world? Sarah squatted down and grabbed a handful of white snow. It was a little bit cold, not very cold, very peculiar. This is the first time I have seen snow. I've only heard of it before. Sarah lay on the ground and rolled, just like a child. All right. In fact, she was originally a child. How about? Is the scenery beautiful? Shueji walked out from behind Hyuga Chen, looking at Hyuga Chen expectantly, waiting for his praise. It's very beautiful. Hyuga Chen reached out and touched Shueji's silver hair. The hair was extremely smooth. A hint of fragrance penetrated into Hyuga Chen's nose, making Hyuga Chen couldn't help taking a deep breath. Shueji looked at Hyuga Chen's expression with a smile on her face. She was in a good mood. She was very happy to be appreciated by Hyuga Chen. Shueji was born because of Hyuga Chen, and Hyuga Chen's identity is the greatest significance of her existence. Sarah, who was rolling in the snow, was very upset. Seeing the ambiguous atmosphere between Hyuga Chen and Shueji, she was slightly jealous, feeling as if her baby had been taken away by someone else. Chen, is she the manager of the world you are talking about? Sarah asked with a small mouth. Hyuga Chen nodded when he heard this. He couldn't tell Sarah about the system, so he told Sarah that this world was created by him, and Shueji is the one who manages this world. Although Sarah was stunned at first, she felt a little fanciful, but she had experienced all the things that traveled through time and space, and slowly accepted it. At the same time, Sarah also had a slight yearning for the power of ninjas. She used to think that ninjas were a group of stronger people, similar to her guards. Now she finally knows the magical power of ninjas, and she has a yearning for the profession of ninjas. Shueji smiled at Sarah and nodded, saying hello. Although Sarah was unhappy with Shueji, she was the queen after all. With good etiquette education, she still suppressed her unhappy in her heart, greeted Shueji, and introduced herself. Unexpectedly, you can create such a large space, you can't see the edge at a glance. Only then did Sarah really look at the system space, sighing the size of the world, and at the same time she yearned for becoming a ninja even more in her heart. Hyuga Chen laughed and said nothing. He could indeed create a small world of space, but he could never create a world with such a large system space. To be honest, Hyuga Chen doesn't know how big the system space is, and even Shueji doesn't know how big the system space is. Chen, I want to be a ninja, can you teach me? Sarah asked eagerly. I don't have time now, you can let Shuiji teach you. Hyuga Chen shook his head. Oh. Sarah lowered her head dully, very indifferent. This potion is for you, it will help you to become a ninja. After thinking about it, Hyuga Chen took out a bottle of sage body potion and handed it to Sarah. This is also a compensation for bringing her into this world. Sarah took the potion and looked at Hyuga Chen with big beautiful eyes. Don't forget to visit me. Sarah's tone is a little worried, for fear that Hyuga Chen will forget her. Don't worry. I'll come in when I have time. You can find Shuiji if you have anything to do. Hyuga Chen smiled and nodded, and then left the system space. After Hyuga Chen left, the style of painting suddenly changed, and the air began to freeze. Shuiji and Sarah collided with each other, and a cold wind blew in the air. Humph. Sarah turned her head away. There is no food here. If you want to eat or drink, you must come to me. Shuiji looked at Sarah with a smile. What? Sarah exclaimed, feeling bad in her heart, as if the other party had grabbed her torture. If you dare to bully me, I will ask Chen to clean up you. Sarah pinched her waist and said, but she lacked confidence. My relationship with Chen is much better than your relationship with him. Chen won't be willing to deal with me. Shuiji looked at Sarah with triumphant eyes. From now on, you will call me eldest sister. If you are not satisfied, you will be hungry. Shuiji looked at Sarah with the eyes of the big bad wolf looking at the little white rabbit. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Sarah said damn it 3 times in a row. Seeing the malicious smile on the other's face, Sarah knew that her life would not be better in the future. But it is impossible to make her subdued, she is Queen Sarah. Hyuga Chen of damn it, why don't you let me stay here? Sarah yelled uncomfortably in her heart. It looks like you are very spine, little sister, but it doesn't matter, there will be times when you are soft, ha ha ha. Shuiji laughed like a female 2.8 king, completely different from when she was next to Hyuga Chen. Beside Hyuga Chen, Shuiji is arrogant, with a little temperament, like a little princess, but in front of Sarah, it is completely the opposite. Could it be that every princess has a heart that wants to be a queen? Don't be proud, Sarah will definitely fight you to the end. If I am subdued, then I will be a puppy. Sarah clenched her fist and glared at Shuiji. He, I am looking forward to your performance. Don't let me down. If you let me down, I will punish you. Shuiji squeezed Sarah's chin and said playfully. Sarah shook off Shuiji's hand and stared at Shuiji stubbornly. Hyuga Chen doesn't know the situation of the system space at all. He even thinks that Shuiji and Sarah should get along well. Episode 170. After leaving the system space, Hyuga Chen left the cabin. Walking on the main road, there were constant hurried civilians running past, with a look of fear on their faces, and they were fleeing frantically. Hyuga Chen watched for a while. Young man, looking at your clothes, you know that you are not an ordinary person. Run quickly. The bandits came down the mountain and ransacked. A middle-aged man said to Hyuga Chen, and quickly fled after speaking. Can remind Hyuga Chen that this middle-aged man has a good heart, and there are not many such people in this era. Bandits, I want to be the one who wants to be the One Piece. How can I be afraid of any bandits? Hyuga Chen walked slowly down the road with his arms around his chest. Hyuga Chen wears a luxurious kimono and looks like a wealthy family. With such unscrupulous and arrogant attitude, it naturally attracts the attention of the bandits. The kid in front, stop for me. The leader of the bandit shouted. The other party was still a ninja, but just a little chunin. Hyuga Chen walks on his own. Does he stop if he asks him to stop? Isn't he very shameless? You are deaf, haven't you heard? Didn't you hear? 12. A handful of wooden kunai that broke out of the air was inserted into the opponent's neck, and the bandit leader fell to the ground while clutching his neck. Ninja. The other party is a powerful ninja, let's run. Seeing that their leader was killed lightly, the remaining bandits fled away. They are just a bunch of chickens, Hyuga Chen will not have to kill them, because it is not necessary at all, so let them escape. In the awe of a group of civilians, Hyuga Chen's figure drifted away. The status of ninjas in this era is very high. Anyway, ordinary people don't dare to offend ninjas, otherwise they may move their heads. Along the way, Hyuga Chen has really experienced the word chaos, and the bandit Hyuga Chen has already encountered more than a dozen waves. The army of the Fire Nation is useless at all, and the daimyo is just a display, which is useless at all. The most powerful ones are the big families. Coming to a town, Hyuga Chen found a tavern, ordered a pot of sake, a few small dishes, and then listened to the conversation in the tavern. Taverns are easier places to get news, because after some people drink some alcohol, they can't control their mouths and talk about everything. There are also some people who like to pretend to be forced in the tavern, specifically telling some news they know, in order to attract others' attention. I heard that the Uruchi clan and the Hyuga clan had a conflict. I know this. The two clans are clashing because of an iron ore. I heard that the mindless things of the Keiichi clan are ready to use the power of the whole clan to compete with the Hyuga clan, one of the thin, ugly-looking people flaunted. Ha ha ha. Don't you dare to say that Hyuga has no brains. If this is heard by Hyuga, it will definitely tear you up as a thin monkey. The person next to him laughed. Hyuga Chen was shocked. Isn't the Hyuga in the country of water? This is obviously the country of fire. What are you afraid of? The Keiichi clan is too arrogant and overbearing. It has offended too many people. I heard that it has also affected the interests of the Uchiha family and the Senju family. It is estimated that it will perish soon. The person called the skinny monkey, disdainful way. Boom. The door of the tavern shattered, and a tall man with 2 red dots between his brows walked in. After he came in, the tavern suddenly became quiet. Which be asterisk 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 d dare to insult my Keiichi clan, stand up for me. The ninja of the Keiichi clan yelled, and his voice shook the sky. No one dared to speak, especially the thin monkey just now, with cold sweat on his forehead and his body trembling. Is the strength of the Uruchi clan strong? Offended the 3 top families of Senju, Uchiha, and Hyuga. They have not yet been exterminated. You say they are strong or not. The most important thing is that the Hyuga clan are all lunatics, fighting for life. Don't tell me, right? Then I will kill you all. The ninja of the Uruchi clan had a cruel expression on his face, and a bone blade stretched out in his hand. No, I said. Seeing that the other party was about to do something, someone finally spoke, reaching out to point at the thin monkey. Ha ha ha, it's too late. Kaguya Shota's bone blade pierced his chest, taking his life. What to do? What to do? He wants to kill all of us. Whole, Teru Uruchi, we fought him to kill this guy. One of them took out kunai, and came to Kaguya Shota with a body instant, and the kunai in his hand pierced his chest. Kaguya Shota laughed at this, and a layer of bone armor shielded his chest, and the iron thorns hit the bone armor, and a trace of sparks appeared and made a steel clank. So weak, I dare to insult our Teru Uruchi clan and die to me. Kaguya Shota's bone blade slashed hard, splitting the man in half, and blood shed all over the floor. Everyone looked at Kaguya Shota in horror, especially the skinny monkey, already peeing his pants in fright. You weak group dare to speak up, arrogantly discussing our Kaguya family. It is not a pity to die. Kaguya Shota's fingertips fired bone bullets and easily penetrated everyone's heads. The entire tavern, except Hyuga Chen, fell to the ground with wide-eyed eyes, and his body gradually became cold. Huh? You are okay. Kaguya Shota looked at Hyuga Chen, who was still drinking, obviously taken aback. Then he showed a fierce look, holding the bone blade and slashing towards Hyuga Chen. Are the Keiichi people so impulsive? It's really no brain. Hyuga Chen looked at Kaguya Shota, who was rushing over. It is very irrational to rush up without knowing the other person. This kind of person either has confidence in 153 himself or is self-righteous. Kaguya Shota is the latter kind. The Kaguya family members are very impulsive and irritable. Faced with Kaguya Shota, who was rushing over, Hyuga Chen kicked out. This kick was so fast that Kaguya Shota couldn't react. Bang! Kaguya Shota, who vomited blood and flew upside down, hit the ground, her chest collapsed, and she rolled miserably on the ground. Hyuga Chen didn't even look at the other person and continued to drink. After a long time, Kaguya Shota got up too hard, with cold sweat on his forehead, and his broken bones had fully recovered, but the pain was still extremely painful. Dare to offend our Hyuga clan, kid, you are done. Kaguya Shota gave Hyuga Chen a resentful look, then turned and fled. It turned out to be a bit of a brain. I thought this guy was going to fight me hard. Hyuga Chen sat on the chair and said softly. He got up and took 2 pots of fine wine in the tavern, and then left the tavern. After inquiring about it, Hyuga Chen headed to the residence of the Senju family. The Senju clan also has one thing Hyuga Chen wants to get, and that is the Pudu soul sword that Tsunade gave to Hyuga Chen. There is basically no difference in the parallel world. Perhaps this world also has the Pudu soul sword. Although Hyuga Chen already has it, it can be used by Mikoto after getting the Pudu royal soul sword.